You know, I really like Spider-Man. Of course, like everyone, I'm a fan of Miles, of all the live-action Spideys, and you can't disregard the original comic version either. Over time, I collected a few different Spider-Man figures, and with Across the Spider-Verse being an absolute banger, I just wanted to get them out again. So let's take a look at all these different versions of our beloved, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
You ever hear the shoulder touch?
What? Hey.
Here's my small but nice collection. It's not a lot and there are some integral figures missing. For example, I don't have a pre-Infinity War Tom Holland Spider-Man or any of the original Into the Spider-Verse variants. I do have a few other cool ones though, which I have divided into smaller groups, which we'll get through one by one. Let's start with the normal Spider-Man. The first two I have here are based off his Ultimate Spider-Man version. They're also the first Spider-Man versions LEGO produced outside of the Raimi movies. This figure here has clearly seen better days, but I tried to use him for Deadpool custom ones and well, never quite recovered from that. Outside of the head though, the minifig doesn't look too bad. The torso is fairly detailed with printed abs below the actual suit being visible. The back looks nice as well, and the other thing really missing is leg printing / dual molded legs. This is where the 2015 version comes in though, which features dual molded legs that significantly improve the look of this figure. The head on this guy also isn't all destroyed, so it's just a really nice figure to look at. It also uses blue as its primary color, which I much prefer to the usual red. Up next we have the second basic Spidey version LEGO has made. This one most closely resembles the Mark IV armor Peter wore for a short while in one of the new comic runs. It's also by far the most forgettable since it's based off a no iconic suit and the original design was already widely criticized. The silver lining inside of the lenses looks nice, but the Spidey logo is way too close to his neck and they went with red as the base color, which I just don't like. Now I don't have the most recent Spidey figure yet, the one with arm printing and occasional dual molded legs. I do however have this advent calendar variant. It uses the new Spider-Man hat, which is very recognizable since it resembles his original comic look. He wears a high school or college jacket, which is more reminiscent of his homecoming look. He's got a big Spider-Man on the back and comes with a churro and a mug. I'm definitely gonna get one of his newer versions as well, but so far these are all the basic Spideys I have. Now getting onto his multiversal variants. I already mentioned I'm missing the entire Into the Spider-Verse crew, apart from Miles obviously. I'm planning on getting at least a Spider-Gwen figure to add something to the collection, but I do already have two figures donning the name Spider-Woman. Now LEGO calls these two Spider-Girl, which isn't what they're called in the comics, but either way they're quite cool. Her red suit originally appeared in 2015 and I just gotta say, I love the white emblem on the red suit. Reminds me of Insomniac Spider-Man, who's got a fantastic design as well. Even though she doesn't have any leg printing and isn't too detailed overall, I think it depicts her comic look quite well. The brown hair is a nice contrast to the rest of the figure, and her torso print gives us a few minor details like the slimmer body type. Her 2020 black suit version looks even better. The black and white just looks so clean, and if I remember correctly, this might have also been the suit that inspired the first Spider-Man Venom suit. She's got some really nice details. I particularly like her spider logo, and her face print is different from pretty much any other Spidey, which is cool. The only thing I'm really missing here is any leg printing. The second alternate version I have is Ben Reilly, better known as Scarlet Spider. You might have spotted him recently in Across the Spider-Verse, and I'm really glad I got him before that. His design is rather simple, but I love the hoodie look above his red jumper. Even though he is, again, missing leg printing, his torso is quite detailed on back and front, and I'm a big fan of the little spider emblem above his belt. He uses the same head as the first Spider-Woman, and the hood really sells this comic-accurate look. This is also one of the few Marvel comic figures that features arm printing. He's got web shoots on each arm, and I feel like they would have looked too plain without them, but with them, this figure easily becomes one of the best Spider-Man LEGOs ever produced. The last variant I have is Miles Morales, and I just gotta say, this is my favorite Spider-Man figure. I love the hoodie over the suit. It reminds me of the Leap of Faith scene in Into the Spider-Verse, and it just looks good. The choice of going with a dark red hoodie was great in my opinion, and they even gave him dual molded legs, which is insane considering how detailed this figure already is. On the back there's also a little Spider-Man logo, and you can't even see the sewing lines around it. LEGO just went all out on this figure, and I love it. Now getting onto the live action versions, I've got a few Tom Holland figures and actually a Tobey Maguire as well. This is his 2004 version, which I much prefer to the 2002 figure. That one used light blue, which just didn't work as well with the red and silver. The dark blue here works fantastic though, really letting the red pop out. Something obviously very unique about this figure is its silver webbing. While Tobey's suit isn't my favorite, the silver is something instantly recognizable and makes this figure very unique. He's got no leg printing, which is forgivable on an almost 20-year-old figure, but what he does have is hip printing, which looks absolutely fantastic. I'm excited to pick up the new version coming in the No Way Home Final Battle, but I think it's time to get onto the next figures, which are absolutely stunning. I told you I'm missing a Stark suit Spider-Man, but there's a fantastic one in the UCS Sanctum, which I do plan on getting at some point. But since I don't have that minifigure yet, the oldest one I have here is the Iron Spider suit. Even though the suit is not that popular amongst fans, the figure is great and not that cheap these days. Taking the arms off, you can see he's got some awesome printing all around, even coming with arm printing, which, to be fair, isn't that uncommon with MCU Spidey figures. I wish they'd have gone with dual molded legs, since they do look kind of weird now. I'm not a big fan of the arms, since I think the original Iron Spider using the slimmer one-piece pincers looks a lot better with those. After leaving both of his suits in New York and Far From Home, Peter takes up the name Night Monkey and dons the black suit. This is just such a cool figure. I love the mix between grey and black, and the more tactical look is a nice contrast to the usual black Spider-Man suits. The figure is also just super detailed with printing even on the toes, but again, I'd have wished for dual molded legs. In No Way Home, we see Peter turning his suit inside out after the outside got defamed with some green goo. This black and gold suit was then used by Spidey to defeat Electro. Lego's interpretation of this suit is just beautiful and one of the best Spider-Man figures of all time. First up, the black and gold look beautiful together, and the number of details on this figure is insane. Underneath the gold, there's a bunch of grey printing showing the wiry inside of the suit, which continues all over the figure and just adds so much to this already great figure. Of course, it also comes with some arm printing, which is the best I've ever seen, and this was also the last figure to use the original MCU mask template, which they switched out in the No Way Home sets. We can see this new mask on Peter's integrated suit, the lenses are bigger and the webbing is a bit further apart than before. Outside of that, the figure is incredibly detailed again, even printing small things on the otherwise plain black parts of his suit. They also finally gave him dual molded legs, which I love, even though it came at the cost of his arm printing. I don't know whether I'd have preferred him with no dual molded legs but arm printing, or this way. Tell me in the comments how you would feel about that. And that's pretty much everything there is to say about these figures. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, goodbye.